Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to MIZEco Labs, where I am the laziest lab technician you've ever seen. I have become ridiculously lazy. It's amazing. I love Applied Energistics. It's just great. It just makes everything so easy. And it's so much fun to play with, too. I mean, I've got like a love-hate relationship going with it. Look at all these. The ones without connections on them are just empty barrels. But every single barrel, see, there's the empty ones. Every single barrel has a connector on it. It's all connected into the system. And we're talking about just ridiculous numbers here. If we sort by number of items, this is amazing. 65,000 cobblestone, 64,000 gravel. I mean, it is so cool. So I can scroll through everything I own now, wirelessly. It's too much. And not that I would ever want to get rid of it, but I am glad I waited. This is an overpowered system. I mean, with all mods, there are trade-offs, right? Like computer craft. The turtle is amazingly powerful. It can do things that nothing else can do in the game. But, and it's really cheap to make, and it's fairly cheap to run, but what is the downside? You have to be able to program. It comes with nothing, right? So, I'm not saying it's an unbalanced mod. I think Applied Energistics is balanced, like most of the mods. And the way it balances itself out is energy consumption. It eats energy. And the best way to demonstrate that is to just look at how much energy it's using. So let me get my EU reader out here and let's go up and take a look at some stuff here. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so here's the controller. Here's the main pipe coming into this bad boy. And if we do a measurement on them, yeah, 110 EU per tick. That's a lot of power. Granted, I've gone a little overboard, and I intend to go even more overboard. But that's a lot of power. I mean, it's just idle right now. It's not even doing anything. Whenever I pull a stack of items out, it uses up what is it? I think it's 64 units. Yeah, that's what they call them, units. And I believe it's 2 units to to 1 EU. So like this is getting 110, right? And if we look at what it's using close to 220. So it's like, yeah, it's for every EU you get 2 units. So it takes 32 EU for me to pull a stack out of my system. Or to put a stack in. And that's instant. It's just gone. So you really do need a beefy... Oh, goodness. What did I do? I turned it around. I didn't mean to do that. Holy cow. Let's put that away. Anyway. So I've been going a little crazy. Uh-oh. That's still not right. Everything is unpowered now. Okay, let's fix it. That needs to be facing down. Right? Yay, power! Alright, let's not screw with my main power anymore. Okay, so I have started connecting everything to it. Because I can. And it's amazing. Like, I don't know if you remember what was here. I'll get a screenshot. Let me put that up. So, that's what I had here. And this is what I have now. It is so much smaller. It's ridiculous how much smaller it is. And this block isn't even needed. I put this here just for looks and to cover up the hole in the floor. That's the only gripe I have with ME. Well, not the only one, but one of my major gripes is that there's no way to... there's no specific covers for it to make it fill a block so that you can make pipes go through a floor and make it look nice. I have come up with a solution, and I'll show you what I'm using in a second. But right now, let's just go over this. So I didn't go over the mechanics of Applied Energistics when it comes to machines. So here I've got my export bus, right? And you can always tell, it's always from the perspective of the network what's going on, right? So from the network's perspective, it's exporting. So, and it's always got this pyramid shape going in the direction, like pointing like an arrow in the direction that the whatever is, you know, your items, whatever direction your items are going. So this is exporting scrap in stacks into my matter fabricator. And then this guy is importing into the system any of the UU matter that it creates, right? And then this guy here, this is just displaying. What's this thing called? Let me bring up my ME stuff here. What is it? Mods. There we go. Double click that guy, and then we only get the mod. I love that. Okay, so where is that? That's the storage monitor. The storage monitor is really cool. It has a number of functions. First of all, it just shows you how much of a given item is in your system. And it will, if you give it a conversion matrix, you just have to grab a conversion matrix. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, see here. I do not, but I can craft one now. Just hit begin and craft it. And who knows how long it'll take. It shouldn't take that long, though. It probably has to cook a processor, so it might take a little bit. While it's cooking, though, if I put a conversion matrix into this guy, it turns it into basically like a barrel, where I can come over and click on it and pull the item it's displaying right out of the system. Very, very nice. This one does not have a conversion matrix, and I've locked it. So I can't just like make it display all the steak I have. But if I get my wrench and I shift click it, you can see storage monitor is now unlocked. So now I can take my steak and slap it in there, and now it tells me I got 500 steak in my system. And that works with any item. You just slap the item on it, and it shows you how many you have in your system. Pretty amazing. So now I need to go get some EU to fix this. Or UU, I mean, not EU. So just grab some UU, slap the UU against it. Now I've got 274 UU. And I'm going to shift click it and lock it again so that I can't accidentally change it, because I just want it to display how much UU this guy is making. And now if I put my UU back in, you'll see 306. Real-time display. Very nice. Now, over here, we have a very nifty block called the ME interface. Now, I don't think I showed this last time, but the ME interface is an amazing block. It allows you to do processing. So right now I've got this guy it's only able to process one thing. So it can make a block of iron with 9 iron ingots. So if I ask for a block of iron, so if I bring up my wireless terminal and I look for block or iron, right, so here's my blocks of iron. I have 50. So if I pull all 50 out I can now craft blocks of iron. So let's go ahead and craft 1 block of iron. And there we go. The machine starts working automatically. If we look inside, it's got 9 iron ingots. And it's going to craft them up. And as soon as it's done, these import buses are going to pull the item out into the system. Now, here's what I was talking about before, was how I can't make it look pretty. Well, I've come up with a solution for that. I'm using storage monitors as plates, kind of. So let's do that. Let's do that right now. Let's grab a storage monitor. I don't have any, so let's craft a couple of them, because I'm going to be using them. So let's craft up 10 of them. And it's not crafting them. So something's going on downstairs. We're going to have to look. Or is it? Oh, no, it's working on them. Okay, so here's one storage monitor. So I'm going to get rid of the block in front of it just so we can see what's going on. I'm going to get rid of the ME cable in between the two. And I'm going to put a monitor down right there. So ME networks can connect through each other. Like, notice I don't have an ME cable connected to each one of these interface blocks because they don't need it. They're touching another interface, so they're already part of the network. So this block will just act as a go-between. So I'm going to lock this guy so I don't mess with it. And then I'm going to put a marble brick down. And look at that. Oh, it looks so nice now. I don't have a hole in my floor. That is something I hope that they update if they have not already. Is like I would be fine with covers. Like if there was a micro block that was compatible with it, that'd be sweet too. Whatever. I just want to be able to have it go into a wall without having a gaping hole. That's my goal. But yeah, so that looks pretty good. And now I have another block of iron in there. There it is, block of iron that was created through the system. Amazing. So what else? What else I've been doing? Let's continue the tour. Yes, I have automated this guy, and yes, I did not put the block down here. What to do here though, where I've got a half block? I don't know how this is going to look. This is going to look funky. I can either put it down below or above. Either way, it's not going to look quite right. Whatever. Okay. Let's just try here. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that. As long as I hide the face and it has this like... I like the monitor because it doesn't use up much power, I don't think. Let's check. I just put 2 in. We were at, what, 219 before? So they use 1 each. We've got 8 of them in the system. But at the same time, I believe a cable uses 1 too. One unit as well. Or is it? No, that can't be right because I have 328. That would be a lot more. Okay, I just looked it up, and yeah, I'm paying a lot more than I thought for making my lab look pretty. I get 16 cables for 1 unit of energy, so it's 1/16 of a unit per tick for each cable. The monitor, the storage monitor, it's 1 unit per tick. So, yeah. I'm pulling out 1 cable and adding 16 to the network, basically, every time I try to make it look pretty. But whatever. That's why I have this amazing device pumping out power constantly. And that's why I'm actually working towards making another one. I got, what is that, 306 comes out to, what is that, 4 or 5 stacks of UU. And I know from a couple episodes back, we made one of those, and it was, what, 7.5 or 7, almost 8 stacks of UU. So we're getting there. Very soon I will have a second ultimate hybrid solar panel. And it already, like, my MFSU has no trouble lasting the night. You know, with me doing all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm currently running a quarry, and Darren's doing his bee thing, and, you know, we certainly don't worry about power at this point. Right, so let's move on. What were we doing? I was looking at this bad boy over here. So, this is a pretty complicated device. It requires a number of things. It requires industrial TNT. So I have a export bus exporting industrial TNT in stacks into this guy. It has, of course, it requires, you know, what you're going to put into it. So I've got a ME interface on top. And I'll, you know, I haven't put recipes in yet for it, but I'm going to auto process my ultimate hybrid solar panel. That is the goal, is to be able to click craft for an ultimate hybrid solar panel and have it just made for me. Over here, we have an import bus, which of course pulls out the items that have been created. So this particular device requires 3 connections. But look at that. It's amazing. It uses up no space. It's just amazing. Let's make this look good. Man, that looks great. So on each floor, I've been putting crafting terminals. I find that the ME crafting terminal is probably the best interface to have around if you don't have a wireless access terminal on you, because, you know, it gives you access to all your stuff plus a crafting grid. What could be better? So every floor has one of these bad boys on it. And then what is this? Oh my goodness. Yes, I've already decided to start auto crafting separately from the molecular assembly chamber. The only problem that I've found so far is that if you want to have a certain number of items pre-crafted and to always keep a certain level, you really can't do it with the molecular assembly chamber. The assembly chamber lets you wait until you are out before it lets you craft again. So, like, if I wanted torches, I've got 6 torches left, right? That's kind of annoying. Like, I would really like to be able to come over and just pull a whole stack out and not have to craft it. It should just craft it for me. There should always be a stack of torches waiting for me. Is that too much to ask, really? So I'm going to show you how to do that. Over here, I'm doing just that with TNT and with industrial TNT for this guy over here. Because to make industrial TNT, you need TNT. And when I go to run a recipe through this, I don't want it to have to wait for TNT. I want it to be able to pull out a stack of industrial TNT with no issue at all, just ready to go at its fingertips. These monitors up here are just to display how much are in the system. They have nothing to do with this device. So I've made this device in a way that's expandable. I can just keep adding as I need. And the way it works is you've got a fabricator here set to auto high. So it requires a redstone signal for it to run. And on the side we have an import bus, which is just taking any items that it creates automatically. So it's in stack mode, and it's just going to pull. Over here we have our ME interface. Now normally the fabricator requires a chest, right? But what's really neat about the ME interface is that the exported items area acts as if it's a chest. So you have an export config and an exported items, and all you have to do is take your items and add them to the config. And notice they're ghost items. Like, I only have 1 wrench, and I can just click on it to get rid of it. So that's how all the I think I mentioned ghost items in the last episode. ME uses ghost items for everything, which I wish Red Power did. I mean, when you're setting up your sorting system with red power, if you want it to sort diamonds, you've got to use a diamond, an actual diamond, to have it sort diamonds. But not with Applied Energistics. You just take your item. Like, I only have one EU reader. Click on it, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, EU readers. And you can keep your EU reader. But it also does numbers. So, like, if you want 6 torches, you can just... I left-clicked, and it gives me 6 torches, and it's already putting 6 torches in there because there's 6 in the system. And it will take them back out, too. That's amazing. But I can also right-mouse click and just put 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever I need. It'll change that ghost. So that's how you set up your, what you're crafting. So for this recipe, it needs 4 sand and 5 gunpowder. So that's what we have in the ME interface. Next up is what makes it all work, and that's this device, the ME level emitter. Where is that guy? And he uses a basic processor, redstone torch, iron, and an ME cable. Pretty easy. And what makes this thing really unique is that, again, here's a ghost item here. You just take whatever item you want it to make, or whatever item you want it to check for in the system, really, is what this thing is doing. And just put it here. And in this case, I want it to emit when the levels are below a certain number. So when the levels get below 32, I'm going to have it turn on the auto crafting table here, and it's going to start making TNT in earnest. One thing is, the fabricator is very fast, and the import bus is not as fast as it is, and the whole system doesn't react as fast as the fabricator does. So I want 64, but I set it to 32 because I found that, like, it starts making them, and then it turns off the redstone signal when it gets to a certain amount, and the fabricator keeps making them, and then you end up with, like, 30 or 40 more beyond what you stipulated. So, I don't think you'll ever get it exact. I mean, maybe you can, but I don't really care that much. I just wanted to have at least over 64. I wanted at least a stack in the system. So 32 I found definitely brought it above. I mean, this was after a couple of tests. Definitely brings it above 64. So then over here we have the same setup, only this guy is taking TNT and flint and making industrial TNT. And same thing over here. You're going to get your 6 flint, 3 TNT. And when the level emitter gets below 64 industrial TNT, it's going to start making them. Okay, so let's move on because I got lots to show you. I just changed this up. I realized that I could just have the cable go through this and it'll look much better without those covers like I have up there. I don't think I'm going to put storage monitors on the ceilings because it's not really that noticeable. I did it in my main lab, but whatever. How am I accessing ME wireless all over the place? It works everywhere for me. Anywhere in the lab. You stand in the furthest corner, it's going to work. Let me show you how I did that. So I don't know if I have one right here. I have one on almost every floor. Yep. Here's one right here. So right on this cable here, I have a ME wireless access point with 16 wireless boosters. This is the maximum number of boosters you can have in a wireless access point. Now, I'm not completely sure of the distance that it covers, but it does cover a pretty good distance. Not a huge one, but pretty good. So if I get my access terminal and I start walking, works here. Let's see if it works all the way at the end here. No, doesn't work here. So if I move a little closer, nope. There we go. So I don't know how far that is, but as you can see, it's not that far from this particular access terminal. So I've had to put one on almost every floor. Let's throw that stuff back in. So there's one on this floor, and there's nothing here, so whatever. I believe there's one on this floor here, probably underneath the floor someplace. And I've basically just made it so that the whole lab has coverage. So no matter where you're standing, you have access to everything. At least pretty much. This wireless access point is right here. And each one has the 16 boosters, which I found you really do need to boost them. Otherwise, you only get, like, I think it's like 16 blocks. Don't quote me on that, though. I just know it's a very small amount of space that you get without boosters. Okay, we're running out of time here. I've automated all kinds of stuff. I started playing around with my blue electric alloy furnace, and blue electric alloy furnaces and the regular furnace, blue electric furnace, they are both a little finicky with their inputs and outputs. The regular furnace will only take an input from the left and output to the right. The alloy furnace, I thought, well, I've never actually automated this device, but if you put your ME interface on top of it, and you have to have your import bus on the right side of the device. But if you set it up like this, you can have fully automated stuff like red alloy ingots, blue alloy ingots, blue doped wafers, red doped wafers, brass ingots, anything that you can put into a blue electric alloy furnace, you can do automatically. Very cool. I started playing around over here as well. This is so ugly, and it definitely needs to change, but I've been hooking it up to this powered furnace because there are a few things that I've been wanting to do. Like I'm cooking my processors in, on demand. When I need one, it just cooks them. If a recipe calls for one, it'll just process it. I found that these guys can feed into into this relay here, which is pretty cool. And a little tip for you: if you hook up one of these import buses to the bottom of a furnace, the powered furnace, make sure you turn off your output. If you have your output set to a color like that, ME won't work. It can't pull it out. So make sure you shut it off so that it's not colored, and then it will be able to pull items out of it. Took me a little while to figure that one out. Alright, so before we go, I just wanted to show you how to set up this kind of automated processing, because making a pattern normally is pretty easy. You put in your recipe and you get an output. But what if you're trying to do something different, like for instance, let's say we wanted to smelt some iron. So if I take this iron block here, this iron ore, and I put it in here, what happens when you craft iron? Nothing, right? So how do you get it to work? Easy. You just need to have the item that you're making. So if I, where is it? Bring up my access terminal, get out some iron. I happen to have 15,000 iron. I had no idea. The number looks so much bigger when it's not in stacks. So you put your iron anywhere in the crafting grid, and then you take one iron ingot, the output of after processing it, and then you put in your blank pattern and encode it. You can encode things that you can't normally craft. So now I have an encoded pattern that crafts one iron ingot with one iron ore. You take this pattern and you put it in your device that's connected to whatever you're trying to do. So in this case, we're cooking. I put it into the processing slot here. Now when I go into my interface, which I really can't do with iron because I would have to pull out all, 15,000 iron for it to work. But if I did run out of iron, my system would now know that all it has to do is take the iron ore and send it to this guy, and you'll have more iron. So with that, I think we're going to have to call it an episode, and I am going to expand this out because I'm already almost out of space. I mean, look at all this stuff I've already got it making. And I intend on adding a lot more. So this is definitely getting bigger. And I wanted to show you the progress that the dude's been making. I've been helping him with his new base. We set up a very similar red power sorting system to what I had. The dude is a noob, but he's a fast learner. He is creating a pretty cool underground base, and the whole point of it is to build a very large castle. So I'm going to definitely give you guys an update on how he's doing next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.